Last year, the UK government spent £240 billion on welfare, in comparison to £145 billion on health and £102 billion on education. Simply put, the biggest proportion of your tax money goes towards welfare. And to a lot of people, the face of welfare is the building behind me, the job centre. In 2009, after graduating from university into one of the biggest recessions this country has ever seen and spending 9 months signing on at the job centre, I got my first job at the job centre. I went from sitting on one side of the signing desk to sitting on the other, and my experiences there were negative to say the least. And more importantly, it wasn't just my experiences, it was the experiences of the people who were coming in looking for help, support and guidance, and were receiving instead a depersonalised, dehumanised service which treated them as national insurance numbers and not as people who needed to be helped. One of the huge problems with the job centre and the DWP in general is that it's a hugely bureaucratic system. They have fixed set regulations that local employees and offices have to follow, and this doesn't give them the flexibility to make common sense decisions or decisions based on the local needs of the people they serve, and this causes immense problems across the board. One story that I heard recently that really shocked me came from when I interviewed a recent job centre employee. He told me that he had a target to get 5 people off the books each week, and because that was practically impossible to do, what they were doing was picking job seekers at random, booking them fake appointments, pretending to send them letters, and then when the job seeker didn't turn up to this appointment because they never received a letter, they would close their claim. That has a humongous personal human impact. Not only do they lose their benefit for that period, they then have to sign up to benefits all over again. You could get someone who's one of the most vulnerable people in society facing up to 3 months with zero income because of arbitrary targets that are placed on people for zero social benefit. Last year, the UK government spent £285 million sanctioning people and only saved £132 million in those sanctioning costs. Therefore, it cost us £152 million to sanction people. And all of the studies around the world, contrary to what the DWP says, shows that people who are sanctioned are less likely to find employment. We pay £152 million per year as a country to sanction people for a negative social benefit. 30% of all media coverage is to do with benefit fraud, even though the benefit of fraud accounts for 0.8% of our total welfare spend. The way that the media portrays job seekers and the stigma that surrounds it influences public opinion, and that public opinion influences policy. The reason we waste £152 million a year on sanctions is because the public demand we punish these imaginary people that don't even exist. If we want to create a better job centre for the future, then we need to create better stories and narratives about the job centre and the people who use it. We need to start talking about a positive social impact of the job centre and how we can work in the future to not only create a better job centre for claimants and employees, but also a job centre that provides more value for money, one that is cheaper than the one that we're currently running now. So no matter what side of the political spectrum you sit on, whether you care about job seekers or not, keep in mind that if we reform the job centre for the better, it's going to save the public purse money. No matter where you are on this issue, reforming the job centre in the future into a more positive, helpful environment is good for everybody.